Well, maybe we can kind of start over. We were just getting started, so I'll let you guys know what we're doing. We've been going through this booklet. Do you have them? I have one here. We've been going through this book here, The Joy of Discovery, and it's basically how to study the Bible. So instead of me telling you what the Bible says, we're learning principles and skills that you can use at home for your own Bible study. So that's basically what we're doing. And if there's stuff that we're going to be talking on stuff that we learned last week, that's okay. It's still pretty basic. You guys should be able to follow along. So we've been looking at how to study a narrative in the Bible, like one of the Bible stories, as opposed to like one of the letters from Paul. That's more of a sermon kind of. The stories in the Bible you study in a different way than you study the letters. So in continuing in that, we had some homework. You guys are excused, of course. But the homework was to read chapter 14. And it was on discovering with others. The idea of discovering, studying together with others. And it talked about a few different ways that we can come to a Bible study. It talked about the different type of roles you can take when you come to a Bible study. And the author here gives a few different titles. One of them is when you come, you could be a receiver. Another is that you could be a giver. Or you could be a giver and receiver, kind of back and forth. Or you could be an enabler. And just to talk about a little bit of what these mean so we can kind of realize what we do when we come to Bible study. You can probably guess, but a receiver is somebody who doesn't really have much to share when they come to Bible study. And there's a lot of reasons why people do that. It might be because you didn't have time to study during the week, so you don't have much to give. It might just be because you're shy or not very confident in what you have to say. You might have some great stuff and you don't think it's great, so you don't share because of that. Or it might be because your leader's talking too much, something like that, right? Or somebody else in the group talks too much. A giver is somebody who comes and all they want to do is share with it. Yes, exactly. And it's usually because they've studied and they got all this great stuff to share, or maybe they just like to talk about it. And then a giver or receiver is somebody who likes to do a little bit of both. I want to take what you guys have to learn, but I also want to share what I have to learn. So what do you guys think? Who would here say that they are more of a receiver? Be honest. You think you're a receiver, okay? Got a couple people think, hey, how's it going? Nice to see you. Oh man, maybe I'll just stand. You guys can take that one.
Yeah,
that's okay.
That's good.
I'll use this thing.
Sit there.
We have a full class today. Full class. Nice to see you. Yeah, glad you can make it. Nice to see you. Okay.
Are you okay there?
So we were just talking about being a giver and a receiver in Bible study. And so I would say a lot of people, when they come to Bible study, you guys don't want to admit it today, a lot of people come and they are receivers. If you just come and you just want to hear what the guy has to say, the speaker has to say, or the teacher has to say, you're more of a receiver. And that's okay. We want to try and get you beyond that. How many of you would say that you're a giver when you come to Bible study? You like to share a lot. Okay, so well, you're a giver. You share. You've got some good stuff. Okay. So this is the people who are more comfortable in talking in groups and
Because we're teachers.
The teachers, right? Yeah, the two teachers raise their hand. And then you could be a giver and receiver, and you share a little bit of both. The last category mentioned in our book is an enabler. And to enable others is a little bit different. When you're giving and receiving, you're mostly focused on what you can get. I have some stuff that I studied, and I want to share it with you guys. And what did you learn? Oh, you've got some information. I want to try and extract that out of you. oh, that's a good thought, you know, and that's okay, that's good. But enabler is more concerned about you than me. You get that? Let me try and enable you to learn how to discover for yourself. And let me bring out your potential so that you can, you know, it's more focused on the others. And that's what we want to try and do. And it's very important because a Christian, one person said that you cannot be a Christian by yourself. You can do a lot of things by yourself, but you can't be a Christian by yourself. You know, Jesus said, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am. Of course, you know, if you're thrown in prison for your faith or something, God can work around that. But generally speaking, God wants us to work with others. So it's important to study together. Okay, so that's the idea of enabling. So we're going to try and do a little bit of that today and have a little bit of sharing. We have a good sized group. Okay, we got about 16, 17. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break you guys up into groups of 3. And you guys will learn, I want you to discuss the, hopefully we have enough, we might have to do 3 or 4, groups of 3 or 4. Yeah.
So 4 groups,
Yeah.
like 4 people.
Yeah, that's fine. Groups of 3 or 4, whatever you guys are comfortable with. And hopefully we have a book for each group. And when you look in chapter 14, this last chapter here, you'll see at the end it says how to become enablers. And there's 3 main topics there. One is understand that most of us are alike. The other one is be concerned about each other's personal growth. You see that? It's the very last page of the book. And then the final one is express our concern for each other in concrete ways. So go through in your group and discuss those 3 things and say which one of those do you think, just go around and say, I'm good at this one, but I'm not good at that one, out of those 3. Does that make sense? You guys get it?
Yeah.
Does anyone not get what we're doing? Okay, well, ask your group if you do. Okay, so we're going to break up in groups now just for a couple minutes, and I'll let somebody use my book as well.
These are groups.
Groups. We got a book there, book there, book there. Give you guys a book, and it's the last page, and the last 2 pages in there.
So we need another person here?
Well, you guys do number 4
Yeah,
here.
we have a book.
3, there's 3. You guys are fine to say
So they need a book. Do they have a book?
You can share all of you guys, or split up 3
3
and
and
3.
3. Yeah. 3 and 3.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So you guys get what we're doing. So go here to where it says how to be an enabler, and there's this one, how to understanding, and then be concerned, and then express. So between those 3 things, go around each one of you and say, I think I'm good at this, but I'm not good at that one. I need to learn. All right, let's start with a couple minutes. There's and you can look through the list of the ways it's described. It's the very last page. So understand, yep, there's that one, and that one, and that one. Just those 3. Yeah, which one do you think that you are strong at, and which one do you need to be better at? One of those 3.
I know. I was thinking. I was reading it. I was reading it.
Oh, I wasn't planning on it either. I'm not a big football guy. I'm sure I'll hear all about it on Facebook.
She's on.
She's more excited. I hear you.
I'm not doing it.
This is
You allow others to do it.
I don't know. It depends on who you are. You are the it's just like they categorize who you are. Pretty much.
Where are you? Oh,
I think
feeling lonely and discouraged and listen to the sounds of
okay. You like it? Oh, okay. So this person encourages each other like by they're more open like these type of stuff. This one's the type of like, okay, this is a student that studies outside and brings all their ideas.
Which one did they come in? There's gotta be one that you're needs to play.
Kind of both these.
You're good, yeah, you are good.
And this, I guess this type of person is also sensitive to other students. But this is more of like encouraging them.
I'm sorry, it's a
Open to each other.
Yes? Not a prayer.
That's pretty
You
good.
enable
I'd say
someone
that
else.
I think
You
I'm
make them
probably a
independent.
little of both of these. And I think they're a little more.
It has a connotation.
Yeah, just being more open to stuff.
Something to keep in mind to grow on.
I see. It's a wrong.
You like?
That's a wrong thing. You
Okay,
You like just choose one.
give you like 30 more seconds and we'll wrap it up.
You like to share?
Already here, most of the time, we're like,
You like to study for?
so that you don't want
Let's just say.
to hear, or sometimes you have doubts.
Yeah. You should always come here.
Yeah, always bring more.
That's a good thing, brother.
Listen carefully to one another's contributions. No, I'm the one.
So I just go say a lot of times, right? And you like to participate and in your own thoughts. You like doing that? Like in class? We'll have a lot of ideas. Yeah. Yeah, like this.
I don't think so. Not today. So we need to force them to
Just now.
That's like,
All right, I'll ask you guys to wrap it up now. It's good, I see a lot of discussion. So that's very good, it's very good. This is the idea, we're sharing amongst each other. So did you guys see some of the things that you can work on? And some of the strengths you already have, hopefully, right? Just keep those things in mind as you study in groups with others, the different things that you can work on. So now what I want to do is, we looked at the passage in Luke 23 the last couple weeks on the cross. And what we did is we went through and we looked at all the different characters at the cross and all their different attitudes toward Jesus in that situation. And let me see here, part of your book here. That's okay. And there was a list here of the different ways of the different people, how they responded to Jesus. And the homework, you guys are excused who are new, but the homework was to look at this list of ways that you could respond to Jesus and see which one of those fits you. And these are all things that are something for us to work on. So what our next exercise to do is you're going to break up into the same groups, and I want you to look through this list, and it's found on page 37. I think unless you have the new book. Is it the same in the new book?
No.
I think it's one page,
It might be one page off.
one page off or two.
So discovery.
Identify yourself with the person.
Yep, you got it. Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
You got it. So go through that list of all those different ways that it could be referring to you, and share among your group which one of those you think is you and that you need to work on. Now this requires you to admit a little bit of your weaknesses, but this is a non-judgmental environment, right? We're sharing this for the sake of getting better. So don't worry, hey, this is something I need to work on. So why don't you do that now? Break up in your groups. It's page 37 for most of you.
Joshua, you give a little background on who the people are, just real quick?
Oh yeah, sure. So the different people at the cross were like the soldiers and their attitude toward Jesus, the mob, the people around, the rulers, Pilate and so forth, the first criminal, the second criminal, the centurions. So these are the different types of people, and each one of them had a different attitude toward Jesus, and that's where this list comes from. So you're not necessarily a soldier or like Pontius Pilate, a ruler or something, but you may have a similar attitude toward Jesus in your life right now. And so, what can you work on? So that's the idea. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to discuss among your group which one you think describes you for the sake of growth.
Alright. So you guys.
Why are you like this?
Okay, I'm going to ask you guys to wrap it up now.
I didn't.
I hear lots of discussion, so this is very good. This is how it should be. This is better than one person just talking and you guys just take, right? You guys are all giving and sharing. So that's the idea.
Of enabling?
Enabling each other, exactly. And hopefully you guys realize some things that maybe you can work on from these examples, and you all hopefully will, hey, this is an opportunity for you to pray for each other. This person in my group needs to work on this, let me pray for that, and vice versa. So that was the kind of experiment today. We talked about enabling each other and studying in a group and how important that is. And then the idea was to get you guys to actually do it a little bit today. Now, forgive me, we didn't open the Bible too much, but it's because we are focusing on the lessons that we did from previous weeks, and kind of now we're applying them. So we can't do everything in one class session. So just to let you all know, we have finished all of the discovery skills number 3. So all the discovery skills, A, B, and C, we have finished that, and so it's kind of a woohoo milestone. So we're going to be moving on next week. We will look at another principle of observing. And so we'll do kind of like how we did last week, where we had a chart and you guys were kind of breaking down a passage with a close reading. We're going to do something similar next week, but with a different skill. So that's the idea. Your homework is going to be to read chapter 3. But don't do the practices. We'll do them later on. So read chapter 3, don't do the practices, and then next week we will do a different approach to observing. And we're pretty much done for the day. Getting you guys in small groups is easy for me. I don't have to teach you much. You teach each other. So who wants to close with a word of prayer for us? You volunteer?
Marites.
Just short prayer for us?
Okay. Heavenly Father.